W Well, hello, kiddies. How are you? I got started so late today. I can't even believe it. Actually, I didn't get started late. I actually got started on time. I was just lollygagging around. And then I remembered I lost track of time. Do you ever do that? Do you ever just lose track of time? Uh-oh. I think I've got the video up there. I got to turn that off. Okay. Do you ever just lose track of time? Like, because you're kind of getting ready, but you're kind of daydreaming. I bet every one of you do that. You're getting ready, but you're kind of daydreaming. So we're going to push back our time here just a little bit. I'll be here a little bit longer. I'm looking at the time right now. Not that much longer though. I mean, longer than our usual time, but obviously longer. We're just getting started here with dirty glasses. What a terror. What a mess. This looks more like the Bookless classroom. I think I've said that before. Now, let me start recording just in case anything that I have here that I'm saying is valuable and it gets lost on the internet. We want to make sure we have a backup copy here of the real stuff. The real stuff we're learning and teaching here. And let's get started. We already saw the ABCs. What are we doing here today? Let's talk about what we're doing here. Today, what we're doing is we are learning more sight words. Sight words. Now, the idea here for everybody who's learning with me is that reading actually, to learn the skills of reading, actually doesn't take a lot of time at all, right? It doesn't take a lot of time at all. But because we're almost done learning our skills, we're on diphthongs. I mean, who even talks like that? Who even talks like that? Diphthongs. Nobody even talks like that anymore. And we learn them and we learn what they are. Do you remember what they are? Do you remember what diphthongs are? Diphthongs are, let me make sure it looks good over there too. It does. Okay. Diphthongs are when there's a vowel and another letter together that's blended, right? And we know what blends are. So this is really important stuff that we've learned to really help us read, but we can learn it very fast, right? So blends are what? Blends they're consonant blends when they have two consonants together, like TH, right? So we learn that here with our consonant blends, right? And there are lots of them. There are lots of our consonant blends. Whenever we say that letters are blending, sometimes we can hear them, right? Sometimes we can hear them like FL, full. But we put them together very quickly, right? We put them together very quickly. And so flower, right? Flake, Florida, right? So full. But some of them are much harder to put together just really fast. They actually make almost an entirely different sound, like TH blend. TH would be t, right? Can you hear that? T. And it's actually that, the. I said the word. I said a word. The, as in that. And it even sounds a little different at that and think, right? So when we are learning these blends and we say that, what makes this? Well, we have to learn that it's TH. And when we learn that that, this, the, those words have a different sound than think, through, threaten, right? So that's a TH. It has a little bit different sound. So we have to learn that when I hear the, that's a TH blend. When I hear that's a TH blend. So what we're doing there is we're learning by hearing, right? We hear it, we hear it, but we're also learning by spelling, right? What makes the sound? What makes the th sound? TH. So we're learning by hearing, but we're also learning to spell two different things, right? Two different things. Pronunciation, the pronunciation. That's how I pronounce the word, right? But TH is how I spell the word. So we're putting those two things together is what we're doing. We're putting our pronunciation together with our letters. That's what we're doing. And Marissa, anytime you want to come here and help me with this, you are much better at this than I am, without a doubt. This is what we do. This is what we do when we are just serving. This is kind of what we do when we just serve. And speaking of which, I have orange juice today. I just wanted to tell you. So I got up late, but what did I do? I showered. That's why I was late. I didn't get up late. I was actually up on time. I just lollygagged, as I said. But we've got to make sure, in order for us to keep ourselves healthy, right? And our minds healthy so that we are ready to learn. We have to have clean bodies, right? Maybe not, we have to brush our teeth twice a day. Once in the morning, after breakfast is preferable, right? Because before breakfast, it makes breakfast taste and get something good for breakfast. This morning, I have tea this morning. So I made this tea last night. Okay. So I like tea. Maybe young people, tea has got caffeine in it too, but there are different kinds of tea. And most of them have caffeine in it, but some of those teas, like dandelion tea, helps relax. So different teas help you do different things. And then I have my orange juice, and orange juice has lots of vitamin C in it. And we need lots of vitamin C to help start our day as well. Juices and fruits have sugars in them too. And one of the reasons why a small glass of orange juice in the morning isn't bad, because that sugar helps get our bodies ready to get going. And even if we don't have sugar in orange juice, although orange juice is good for us, even if we don't have sugar in orange juice and we eat something else like cereal, for example, that has lots of sugar, but it also has carbohydrates. And carbohydrates, that's a big word. Carbs, you've heard the word carbs, right? I'm sure most of you have heard the word carbs. Carbohydrates, they actually store energy in your body for later on. So even though we've heard lots of bad things about, for example, bread up there, we see bread has a consonant blend as well, right? Bread, bruh. So when we put it together, our consonant blends or our diphthongs. So remember, our diphthongs here were where we had a vowel and an R, right? That's a murmur diphthong. A diphthong is when you have a vowel and any other letter. It could be another vowel. We're going to learn that, like O-I, as in foil. You foiled my plans, right? Or get me a piece of foil so I can wrap up the leftovers, right? So foil, O-I, that's a blend as well, right? So it has a different sound. And what we have to do to learn how to read is we have to learn what blends do, consonant blends, as well as blends that have vowels, diphthongs, right? This is a vowel blended with an R, a murmur diphthong, right? When you learn, you're like, who cares what the name is? Well, like I said, I was really excited when I was little and I learned the idea of murmur diphthong. I learned what a murmur diphthong was. It makes us feel smart. And by the way, you are smart, right? If you know what a murmur diphthong is, most adults do not. Most adults do not know what that is. And so if you do know what that is, you're way ahead of the game, right? The names, of course, of what we're talking about are less important, but it does help you to understand the concept. Knowing what a blend is, and it's called a blend, you know right away Well, it could be a consonant blend. It could also have a vowel in it, which is called something different, but it's still a blend. But it's still a blend. And so here we saw all these oops. There we go. The AR, murmur diphthong, ER, murmur diphthong words. Now, as I'm going through these words, what you want to remember is that you want to remember that you are learning how to spell these words. Because here's the trick with reading. You really have to take the time to learn how to spell words. And so you have to basically test yourself. Do you know how to spell sight words? All right. And so that's what we're doing today. And we still have time. So don't you even worry about the fact that I got on so late. All right. If you remember, we did some other worksheets. Here was just add an E worksheet, right? So tub, tube. And you could see the picture there. So here it gets us a really good idea of how to spell very simple words, right? These are our first words that we learn how to spell that are very simple words. Because here we can sound out the first word that we have there, right? Tub. That has a short U in it, right? When two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. So when we add an E on the end, that changes the U from a short U to a long U, right? So it goes from tub to tube. It goes from can to cane. It goes from pin to pine. It goes from rob to robe. I have to look up. That's the reason why I keep doing that. It goes from kit to kite. It goes from tap to tape. And it goes from, what is that? Man to mane. Hold on, folks. I've got something here in my nose. Sorry about that. But I could have turned off the camera, but I actually do show you I'm a normal person, and these are normal things that we do, right? They are just normal things that we do every day. And nobody needs to read more into it than that. All right, so long vowels say their name, right? Short vowels have a different sound. Do you remember what they are? Say it with me. A, I, and you can remember that just like you memorize A, B, C, D, E, right? All right, so tub, easy peasy. You, that's the the last one that I just said. A is A, is E, is I is O, is you, right? Okay, So memorize your long vowels, A, E, I, O, U, okay? And then memorize your short vowel sounds, A, okay? So when we have can, A. So these words here on this page, they're very easy words for you to learn how to spell, and they're very easy words for you to learn how to pronounce when you're reading. So if I go down there, C-U-B, if I know that has a hard C, cub, right? And actually soft C's come before E's and I's. That's when we have soft C's, like in city, C-I-T-Y, or as in cent, like a penny, 1 cent, okay? Not like you smell good, that's your scent, okay? No, a penny, cent, C-E-N-T, cent. And you could have sounded that out yourself, right? If I said that was a soft C, soft C's sound like S's, hard C's sound like K's, right? So the soft C, scent, I already told you, so it starts with a soft C, not an S, although S-E-N-T is like I sent you to the store, not like a penny, right? I sent you to the store. S-E-N-T. Those are homophones, is what those are called. Homophones. Words that sound alike but are spelled different. We're going to have a worksheet on that, all right? So for some of you, you can, if you're a little bit older, but you're rusty on this stuff, you're going to learn a lot faster than the younger people are. And I go at a faster pace because you can always take your time on these worksheets, right? And don't forget that you can always email me as well at Dr. Feravich, F as in Frank, E-R-A, V as in Victor, I-C-H, at healthymindbodyspirit.net. All right, and your parents could help you with that. I need a drink of my orange juice. A big drink of my orange juice. Okay, so let's see here. Now, we also did the... No way. I probably moved it. That's the reason why. We also did words ending in Y. So I don't know why this isn't up there. But now it is. So Y sounds, right? So we had Y sounds there. And so here you can see we are beginning to have to learn how to spell words by or read words by sight. Spell words by sound. Words that end in a Y, they can sound like a long E as in baby, right? Or, in fact, I'm going to open it up so I could see it just a little bit better. Seriously? Ugh. I only had that open seconds ago. Okay. All right, so it says all of the words in the word box end in Y. If the Y has a long E sound like baby, write the word under the baby. If the Y word has a long I sound like spy, write the word under the spy. So we see the pictures there. And what we are learning again is we are learning that bunny doesn't end with an E. It ends with a Y, right? The rest of the word, we can sound that out, right? We can sound that out. Bunny, right? But and by the time we got bun part and the Y on the end, we're not going to say bun I. We're not going to be like, oh, is that bun I or is it bunny? No, there's no word that's bun I. So we're not going to say bun I when we read it. We're going to go bunny. We're going to know, right? But what we want to do is we want to know also how to spell it, right? That it ends, some words end with the Y. We have to know how to spell it and we have to know how to read it, right? If we know how to spell it, we know how to read it, right? But we also have to know how to pronounce it. It's easy once we got the bun part to pronounce it, right? And see that, right? There's another N there. So bunny, right? It's not going to be bunny. So we're learning that the Y, when we see a Y, it can have an I sound, a long I sound, or a long E sound, right? So what's the next word? There's an ER. There's a murmur diphthong. So this is harder to learn how to spell, or this is harder to pronounce, right? To learn how to read, actually, which makes it harder to spell. In order for us to learn how to read these words, we have to learn how to spell them, all right? So what takes a long time in learning how to read? It's learning how to spell. That's what takes a long time. So what you have to constantly do is be giving yourself spelling tests, all right? So just a blank piece of paper, but give yourself spelling tests. So here are some words that you can give yourself for a spelling test. Those could be some of your first words that you put on a spelling test. 2, 4, 6, 8 words there can be for your very first spelling test. Words that end in Y. And then have somebody tell you, right? Spell fly. Spell happy. Spell very. This is what you're supposed to be doing with these worksheets, all right? Here are some sight words. Oh. No, that's not what I wanted to give you. I wanted to give you this. There are the answers then, right? So there are the answers. I gave you the worksheet the other day. There are your answers. Obviously, bunny, very, happy. What is that word? Shiny, penny, my, sky, fly, cry, shy. And all of those words rhyme because they have the same ending sound, but just the only thing that's different is the beginning letter. My, sky, fly, cry, shy. We call those words, they are rhyming words. Can you think of another word that rhymes with all of those words? Spy, my, sky, fly, cry, shy. Why? How about why? Even rye, but rye spelled a little different. Rye, like rye bread, right? Rye is a little grain is what rye is. And we put it in bread and it gives it a different flavor. A different type of flavored grain is what rye is. Okay, all right. So now I showed you these worksheets, and in these worksheets, what we have there, let me look at the time there. Good, we're doing good. All right. And in these worksheets, what we have is we have got diphthongs, right? So these are more sight words that you'll want to learn. Okay, so let me pull that up from my side here. Wouldn't you know? All right, I'll get it here. This way, I'll get it this way. I don't know why I didn't just pull it up this way. Okay, all right, so we have got sentences there. So I will help you read the sentences, and then let's finish the sentence with one of those words. So there we've got the 4 words there that we're trying to learn by sight. So O-I, remember what I said, foil. O-I says oi, 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 like oy vey, which is what Jewish expression is. So oi, so that is a soft J. Soft J says j, j. Hard J. No, that's a hard G. Never mind. J says j, as in jump. That's, and OI says oi. Sorry, sometimes I mix you up. I know. Sometimes you mix me up. Oi, O-I, oi, j, oin, join, join. Now let's look at the end of the next word, the ending sound of the next word, because we have the OI, which says oi, right? OI says oi. So if we put an L on the end, oil, we already know how to spell oil as well. So oil, and then the SP is a consonant blend, spoil, spoil. If I took the P out, I would have what for the next word? You know that one. You know that one because we already did the OI, oil. OIL is what we did. That's how you spell oil, right? Oil. Drilling for oil gets us rich. And put an S on the beginning, soil. Now here, this is interesting. You can see how we really need to learn how to spell this word. Do you know what that word is? The C is a soft C because look, it's followed by an E, right? We have an E on the end there, and E is not like the two vowels go walking. The first one does the talking. They just stuck an E on the end of that, right? So, and the C is soft, so it sounds like an S. So we have ois. Ois on the end, ois. And let's put a V in the beginning and we have what? Voice, voice. Now, if you saw that word when you were reading, it would be very hard for you to sound that word out. Join, the beginning one was easy once we knew OI said oi, right? Once we know OI says oi, that is a diphthong vowel blend, right? A diphthong, a vowel blend. Once we know that, then we know how to sound out join, but it's a little difficult. We have to learn that OI says oi, right? But in voice, we have a lot to learn. We have that when we hear the S on the end, we have to learn it's not an S, right? It's a C. We have to learn that there is an E on the end, that they just popped on the end for no reason at all. And we have to learn that the OI says oi. So we had to learn all of that in order for us to understand or read the word voice. So that you can see that sight word is an important word. Why it's important for us to memorize how to spell, to memorize how to spell certain words. That's why we call them sight words. You can't sound that out easily. You have to remember it when you see it. Okay? All right, so we learned OI says oi. We learned 4 sight words: join, spoil, soil, and voice. And then let's read the sentence. Now, the sentence, somebody can help you sound this out, but actually, by now, you could probably figure out how to read most of that sentence. Most of it. Screechy might be a little hard, but maybe not. The scary witch had a screechy what? And then you fill in the right word. Voice, of course. And when you write it in, you are learning how to spell it. So simply by watching me do this is not helping you learn everything that is on that sheet. You have to, by going through it, you have to write those words. And if you were really hardworking, you might write that whole sentence. Don't print it off. Write the whole sentence. The scary witch, I don't have it up there right now. I can't see it because I'm looking at something else now. I'm looking at the screen. The scary witch had a, look at that, screechy. 2 vowels go walking. First one does the talking. Look at that consonant blend at the beginning and a consonant blend at the end, right? And the Y at the end has a long E sound. That's another word. You can sound that out, but you probably have to learn how to spell it, right? So 3 consonants for the consonant blend at the beginning. S-C-R, scr, scr. E, 2 vowels go walking. The first one does a talking. C-H, consonant blend, ch, right? And the Y has a long E sound. Screechy, screechy. It's a longer word, but it's kind of easy, isn't it? The next one, I planted the, look at that long word. The next word is a long word, but I bet you can sound that out. It's made of two words. It's made up of two words. That is called a compound word. When we have two words put together, it's a compound word. So the first word is water, 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 right? Now that's not an ass sound, so it's a little bit different, right? That A is a little bit different. You have to learn that that is not like a AU sound, which is actually aw sound, right? You have to learn that water is spelled with just WA. WATER, water. There we have what? A murmur diphthong on the end. Is it ER? Is it IR? Is it UR? You have to learn how to spell water, right? The A doesn't sound like a short A or a long A, and you have an ER murmur diphthong on the end there. So water is a sight word. It's a sight word, water. So if you learn how to spell it, you've learned how to spell a sight word. Melon. Melon is easier. On, right? Sometimes we get it confused with, is it IN at the end or ON, melon, right? But it's melon. So that's actually a sight word as well, because some of us want to put an ion at the end. I've done that. I planted the watermelon, right? Compound word, two words put together, water and melon. I planted the watermelon seeds in the, what? Join, spoil, soil. Of course it's soil, and we've already used voice. I would, see wood, that's when there's the wood outside that's made by a tree, that's spelled WOOD. But when we're using it as, this is a helping verb is what it is, like I would like, I would run, I would plant, I would join. We'll talk about verbs later on, of course. But that word there, would, is, see, that's another sight word. WOULD. It rhymes with should, and should is spelled SHOULD. Okay? So that's another sight word. I would like to blank the Boy Scouts. Join, spoil, and we already used soil and voice. So it's, I would like to spoil the Boy Scouts or join the Boy Scouts. Join the Boy Scouts, of course. And then you write that word in there. If you leave the milk out, it will spoil. That's the one that we have left, right? So sometimes we can use, it's just very smart for you to use what we call a process of elimination. Once you've used the word, you're not going to use it again. And so you've eliminated that word from your choices. That's a process of elimination. That's a strategy. Once you've used the word, you don't even consider the word anymore. Why would you consider the word? You've used it. It's been eliminated, right? Once it's been used, it's eliminated. It's no longer used again, right? So through a process of elimination, you got the last answer. And that's just smart. That's all that is. That's just smart. Process of elimination is a strategy. Okay, so let's take a look at this next sight word worksheet. AW says awe, awe. So those words are what? AWN on, AWN on, AWK awk, AWL all. All right, so we've got the ending sound of all those words. So the first word is what? On lawn. The next word is what? Yawn. The next word is hawk. Hawk. And we have all on the last word, the fourth word, all crawl. The baby just learned to lawn, yawn, hawk, or crawl. It could be yawn. It could be yawn. The baby just learned to yawn, but babies don't learn to yawn. They do that automatically. So it must be what? Crawl. we watched a lawn circle in the sky, a yawn circle in the sky, or a hawk circle in the sky. Obviously, it's hawk, right? To get allowance, I have to mow the lawn or yawn. Lawn. During math class, I try not to yawn. And then you can see there at the bottom there that there are other words there that you can circle and find that have the AW sound. We didn't do that on the page before. Draw, straw, dawn, slaw, like in coleslaw that you eat, slaw, pawn, law, claw, and fawn. Okay, all right. So we did really good today on those worksheets. We did. And even though I got on late, we spent a lot of time on there. There are several more worksheets for you to do. We will come back next Wednesday, and this is where we will pick up. Not pick off. We're not going to pick anybody off. We have the Y answer sheet here. And let's see. And here is the very first worksheet that I have. It's not a worksheet. It's actually your very first sight words there. So set your first 50 sight words. These are very easy. So for you to learn these as a spelling list, these are the first very easy sight words for you to learn. So you could learn these, and I've got 50 words, and look at that. You've already learned how to spell and read 50 words. These are very easy. You can go back to the other ones that we've learned already, right? Like some of these words that we said end in Y. You can use those in your spelling test, or you can use any one of these worksheets. And there are 4 words on each one of these worksheets. And I've got, how many worksheets do I have? 9 worksheets here that are all about sight words. We haven't gotten to the oh boy yet, okay? Yeah, and you can go ahead and do that worksheet as well, that oh boy. That should be a little bit easier, but those are also diphthongs as well, all right? So you can make those words into spelling tests if you want. You've got the diphthong sheets that we already had as well, right? The murmur diphthong sheets that we had with the O, R, I, R, E, R, A, R, U, R, right, words. So you could make those into spelling tests. So that's the key here for you to do the next step. We're going to keep learning the phonics, right? We're going to learn about capitalization coming up. When do we capitalize a word? If we have capitals and small letters, why do we have them? And when do we use capitals? So we're going to keep moving along. But for you, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are learning how to spell those. So you're giving yourself spelling tests. A weekly spelling test is what you need. And then that will help you learn to read. That's why reading takes time, is because you have to learn to spell in order to recognize words, for example, like voice, right? That's very hard. Or the word through, that's very hard to spell. Or the word would. I would stay on right now, except for I'm running late for the next class. So we're going to have a 5-minute break for the Bookless classroom. So I'm going to be 5 minutes late if you're hoping to get to the Bookless classroom. But we're moving along on that. We'll talk about that in a minute. So I have to go. This is Dr. Annette Feravich. You can call me Dr. Annette. This is the Early Bird Classroom, and I am the teacher. Thank you for joining me. Please, Marissa, you can help me with this because you're much better at this